welcome to another episode of the Schbang in it. Today we're actually discussing a lot of interesting stuff with the media sciences team at Schbang. I don't have just one or two, I actually have three guests from the media team at Schbang. We're talking about the media landscape, we're going to be talking about careers, about performance marketing, about how to drive ROAS, and also a lot of interesting client case studies. So do watch the entire episode and let's get started with the conversation. So on today's podcast, we have three very illustrious personalities from our media sciences team, starting with Aashka, who's our associate group media manager, followed by Priyam, who's the head of the media sciences team, and finally senior veteran, Mr. Prakash Bhadarka, who comes with almost 2 decades of experience in the media space. He's a vice president for media as well as vendor partnerships. So let's get started with the conversation. Looking forward to the next hour and a half that we have with you. Let's have a good good chat.
Excited.
Yeah.
Cool. So Priyam, I think starting with you, of course.
Good. Put me on the spot.
Tell me, how have you seen the entire media landscape sort of evolve over the past 7-8 years that you've been doing this? What are changes that you've observed in the media landscape which have shaped what we are at today?
So, back in the day, I think the focus was only on your self-serve media. It was purely dominated by your Facebook and Google, and there was not much that was happening on these other platforms that have evolved. There were no sort of innovations that were happening. Even the way the clients are approaching media is way different. Again, back in the day, the only metrics that used to matter were maybe likes on Facebook, you want some followers, but purely again likes on Facebook, that was there. Today, cut to today, like if I talk to clients, those are conversations we are not even having. It is all about how it is adding any sort of business value. Are we getting any sort of ROI from the activity that we are trying to do? Or finally, is there direct sales that we are trying to bring in? So it's more business oriented. The vanity metrics have actually disappeared, and this has been over the years. Like I have worked on campaigns where we've only reported maybe likes and followers and
right.
Maybe certain engagements, and then cut to today, those don't even matter. So I think it's a very huge shift in the way even clients are approaching it now.
Okay, interesting. So I think you're saying it's more bottom funnel, more performance oriented.
Everything is performance. Even if it is a branding campaign, there is a bottom line to it, that it has to result in something valuable.
Okay, but what about you, Prakash? I mean, you of course see the evolution a lot more than all of us over here. So yeah.
So 10-15 years back, there was no OTT platform. Now we have a OTT platform. And thanks to Digital India, now each and every area has become more digital penetrated. So now there is a more rise towards content on mobile. Nowadays, more user-generated content. Previously, there was no such thing called user-generated content 10 to 15 years back. Nowadays, people monetize their channels and create their own content to make some money. So I see there is a good rise over there. Now we have multiple options in terms of platform. Previously we used to spend only on Google and Facebook. Now we can go with influencer marketing, we can go with OTT, we can go with specific channels as well. So that evolution I can see in the last 10 to 15 years.
Okay. What about you, Aashka? I think it's been about 3.5 years for you in the industry. I know short time, but a lot has evolved in the 3.5 years.
But I think COVID was when I joined. So I joined before COVID, and now I'm seeing digital media after COVID. So I think how we have the AD and the BC before Christ, and I feel for us in digital, for us in digital is exactly before Geo and sort of after Geo. So I read this line somewhere, heard it somewhere, that how the digital penetration has moved into a way where so many people now have internet, and because of that, while mass media I feel is important when we are planning media, that will still remain, but digital is now coming at par with where mass was.
Right.
So using both of them together in your media landscape is now the game. Initially it used to be very siloed, but now it's how do you use both of them together to sort of achieve your media KPIs. So that's very interesting. Like, and even in Schbang, like we've seen that entire media landscape change from digital first to now digital and traditional. So yeah, I think that's the change I've seen. And also from client side, the change we've seen is that a lot more digital adoption because of COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's been a game changer for media here.
Yeah, I think we keep hearing that digital is going to overtake even mainline and print in the next couple of years. I think that's a great.
In fact,
of course,
this year
this
year
in
is going to
fact, right? And
overtake it.
I think that's a great opportunity for brands who are digitally native or also not native, but for digital to actually start building their presence right now, because I think of the effectiveness that digital is actually seeing in the entire funnel, right? I want to understand from you all, like, how are you all keeping abreast with these changes, right? Because there's so much happening. Even today, even out of home, for example, we have a digital out of home as well, right? Wherein there is way to track, there is a way to actually get your, PIN code, to actually get the person's location. Lots of things happening in that space, but how are you all actually keeping abreast with these changes? Because, it's quick, it's happening as we speak, and if we don't evolve, I think we're going to perish, right? So how are you all, sort of learning or keeping abreast with some of these changes?
So honestly, I have to give him some credit for it. Like Prakash has, he's brought in so many new vendors or partners that we can meet, so that we can expand our horizon. Like literally every month there is an innovative sort of tool that is there. There is another kind of ad placement that is available, and all of these vendors have it. It's just that how do we pick and choose who works the best for our client. So meeting with them regularly, understanding what are the services they are going to be providing to us, just keeps us in sync with whatever is happening in the market. Obviously, seeing what competition is doing also really keeps that going. And from the client itself, right, there are so many, like once the brief comes to us, it's like an open slate, so it's on our head now. How do we actually try and use the best possible media vehicles? And it does not need to be confined to only maybe a Google or a Facebook. Like they're open to OTT, they're open to AI related stuff, they're open to influencers and things like that. So anything that is adding value is something that the clients are good with. And honestly, with vendors coming in, it just adds more visibility for us as well.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And also,
Sorry, I just wanted to add. So, like, while to keeping abreast with the topics, it's very important for us to sign up for these few blogs, because like reading becomes very important. Because that's what gives us the confidence when we are in front of clients. When clients are a little bit more literate than us too now these days. So that's at least a tip that I always give. I think all of the team is that just sign up for a few blogs.
What are you reading right now? What are you reading?
Oh, right now we were reading about AI ML. And the entire Facebook PMax, and now Facebook's come up with their entire Advantage Plus shopping. So all these new formats, like Priya mentioned, were from vendor and what's available vendor. Even self-serve is what I wanted to add. But it's so important for us to know the difference between what's the difference between a conversion ad and now these new ads. So just to be abreast with all of this, all these blogs, and just have these catch up with your team every 15 days, 20 days, being like, what's new, what did you learn? So that's kind of keeps everybody excited and read. So I think that's important.
Okay, awesome. The Prakash committee, recently we had a roadshow with ShareChat and Moj as well, and I think one of the big trends in India is that the next Bharat is coming online, and it's going to be the multilingual population, the non-English speaking population, who are going to sort of dominate the entire digital space, right? How do you see that shaping up the way we start planning the media? Because we understand that, we're not just talking to the metro audience anymore, we're going into tier 2, tier 3, where the digital penetration, as you mentioned, has really, really improved with, of course, the geo revolutions and all the other data becoming cheap, right? How are you seeing our plans evolve with this new set of India coming onto the platform?
So, I saw that if we go with more regional, so because in India is completely diversified, and like if you see there are multiple languages are there, multiple states are there and they have their own behavior pattern. They use different kind of content. For example, if I am a Bengali, I would like to see some Bengali videos also. Okay. If I am Gujarati, I would like to see some Gujarati videos also. So we need to make sure that we should not show our ads only English ads to them. Brand has to go a little localized, a little regionalized to them, and we need to make sure that we'll show regional ads to them.
Right.
Yes. When I say regional ads, it doesn't mean that creative with a Gujarati font, creative with a Bengali font. For example, my nephew is Gujarati, but he can't read Gujarati, but he can understand Gujarati. He can see the video in Gujarati. He can understand that. So we have to push more video content, more regional content over there.
Right.
And I see that the share chat and more, there is a more reach as compared to other English platforms.
Right.
Okay. So we need to make sure that we make more content, more advertising into regional specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying more video, more regional, more local nuances, more local insights, and that's how we're going to actually build our media plans as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And I think that's a good tips for anyone who's planning, even to think of how they can build their careers in the media space. That we need to start moving away from thinking that India is just English or Hindi speaking. It's a lot about multilingual as well. And if we start embracing the multilingual platforms, that will actually give us a lot more people to reach out to, a lot more eyeballs to reach out to. And I think India has no more become a saving economy; it's become a spending economy. So, and it is these tier 2, tier 3 people who are also spending, who are earning their first salaries, and who are open to buying, because nowadays with e-commerce sort of delivering to almost 99% pin codes in the country, the spending powers have, of course, has not just increased but has given people the opportunity to buy or get access to more information or more products. So I think we can just quickly segue into the performance side to media, right? So I think Priyam, you spoke about how clients are, of course, giving performance a lot more weightage today in their in their campaigns. At Schbang as well, we are very focused on delivering performance, right? And of course, we have been doing a bunch of performance campaigns for D2C or non-D2C as well. Can you talk about anything that you've done recently which you want to sort of talk about, which in this performance space specifically, and how did you go about strategizing for that also?
Okay, so we have, so when we talk about performance, I would also like to talk about lead generation as a part of it, and not only restricting to D2C. While there are two aspects to it. One is the discovery layer that we take care of, which is how do I get to know about your service or your product, which the media placements help me do. So whether it is on whatever platform, it can be Meta, Google, blah blah blah, we come on to we will fill in a lead form and things like that, and then obviously there is a post experience that happens. Now, one is, yes, if you get the first part correct of discoverability, half your battle is won, but you still have the second layer to actually ace. And what we've realized is your entire experience on the website, your post customer service, is equally as important for that conversion to make sense to my media campaign. So it is not only restricted to our department, as we say, it is also more about how we integrate with other departments. Similar, even in the case of D2C, if it's a thumb rule, like I cannot go live with a campaign if the website is not functioning correctly. I can't have my customer have a bad experience on the website. It has a direct impact on what we are doing, because we are spending money every single minute. So it is a combination of these two. I mean, now we need to stop looking at it in isolation that, okay, our placements are correct, all of that, because clients don't care. Clients are only worried about the bottom line, and it is, it is what it is. If revenue is being generated, no one questions it, but it does come across like a problem if things are not going right.
Right.
Yeah.
Aashka, anything which you worked on recently in the performance
so
space?
many.
I know you have a lot of performance clients, so maybe you can want to pick one client which is your favorite one.
That's
that
so
you
tough.
worked
I think
wellness.
Yeah, I was just going to go for wellness. So
Because
wellness,
it's so nuanced and it's so
Wellness
technical.
Forever,
yeah. So Wellness Forever, of course, like we started with them almost 2 years ago now.
Right.
So the first year we had larger budgets. We would do a lot of omni-channel approach with WhatsApp calls, getting people in store, getting people to web, getting people to app. So we had like 5 touch points and multiple medias to sort of reach out to getting our KPIs on all the touch points. But then of course we had to be mindful about the spends, and we sort of reduced the spends, still having the performance pressure of getting like 3 and 4 OAS. And then a lot of competition in the space because it's OTC, it's all very, very heavy, like with all your other giant players who have, brand ambassadors from the film industry, and wellness not having that. So it was very interesting when we moved entirely into performance, to find that sweet spot between acquisition and remarketing. Because for a brand like wellness, I feel the frequency of order is fine. Like it's not you would order it once and you're okay for the next 2 to 3 months.
Right.
So today you feel like having kettle chips. Tomorrow you feel like you need some medicines because you ate the kettle chips. So it's just more of the frequency of order and just being on top of mind of people. So along with acquisition, the LTV is what we saw. So it was a very interesting strategy that we've used for wellness, which is very close to my heart, and the entire team. So yeah, I think a lot of artificial intelligence strategy, operations in optimization for us to get to where we are at from a performance standpoint.
Good. Let's actually break down what LTV stands for. I know there might be a lot of media jargon coming up in the discussion because it's second nature to us now, but you want to explain what LTV actually stands for?
Yeah, so basically when you acquire a consumer, there's a cost of acquisition. So you say you paid 10 rupees to acquire the consumer, and then the consumer is with you. So now what do you do over the lifetime? What is the consumer, once he or she is in your ecosystem, what are they doing with you in their lifetime in terms of purchases, in terms of engagement? So the quality of the audience when you're acquiring. So you'd be okay to pay a higher cost of acquisition if the LTV of your consumer is better.
Higher, yeah.
So yeah, I think we can come on to Schbang Academies to know more.
So it's CAC is cost of acquisition and LTV is lifetime value.
Yeah.
No, but I'd also like to add, like she mentioned, while we applied our media strat, to acquire these customers, I think the content also played a very crucial role because, and we had the support of the content team, which was in-house. So, giving them direction also in terms of what's working, what's not working was pretty seamless. We could get that out and running pretty quickly. So, yeah.
Got it. Yeah, we've not spoken about, again, a buzzword, right? Programmatic. And I think that is also one big trend we are seeing, that the plans are heavily focused on programmatic nowadays, of course, because it helps deliver conversions, bottom funnels as well. And Prakash, since as a part of your role, you're actually working very closely with a lot of publishers who are in the programmatic space, and I think we're fortunate enough to have forged a few great partnerships with great partners as well who are serving us on programmatic, right? How does programmatic work? If you can just talk to us a bit about that, and why do you think it's becoming so important vis-a-vis the self-serves today?
So previously, when there was no programmatic ads, we used to do GDN ads, where we do managed placement. And
what is GDN? You can
so
say
GDN means Google Display Network ads, where we can show our banner ads to the user. The way we used to do managed placement ads over there, where we just churn out some list of websites and put it over there and make sure that our ad will show into these websites only.
Right.
Okay. But nowadays, those big websites are not available on GDN. We have to go via programmatic mode. Now, what is programmatic is? The programmatic medium is we need to, there is it's a between two server, where we need to buy the inventory on a programmatic channel where this real-time bidding is happening. Okay. And this real-time bidding is happening on CPM basis only, and here the full guarantee that your ad will show on these websites anyhow. So that's the main factor, and programmatic always perform good in terms of branding and awareness. Yeah, so that's why programmatic is very much important now.
Okay.
And also we've seen that the quality of audience is much
quality
better on
quality of audience is very, very good. You will get a good CTR over there. You will get good interaction over there, because the placement you can select a placement also. These are the big banners. I want to show my ads on these banners only. Okay, what's the CPM rate for this banner? Okay, let's do real-time bidding on it. so we can go with a placement to placement over there. But this feature is not available into GDN. But yes, programmatic we can do that.
Okay. So saying that the programmatic vendors are now an important part of the media plans.
Yes,
and
very,
part
very
of it,
important.
right?
Yeah.
Because giving better click-through rate, CTR, like click-through rate is a CTR, CPM is cost per 1,000 impressions. So this is getting improved with the programmatic buying
Yes,
as
yes.
well. And for anyone who is also trying to maybe build a career in digital marketing and media, you think programmatic needs to be a part of their learning as well?
Programmatic needs to be part
Yeah.
because nowadays if you go either Meta, Facebook, now Meta, Google, now the most important part is programmatic because you can do you can select the website through programmatic, you can select OTT channels also through programmatic. Okay. So it's very important. Programmatic is very important part now.
I think to add on, even digital outdoor now is a part.
Yeah.
Of
So
programmatic.
digital
can.
outdoor also
So I
part
think
of the
that's-
programmatic banner now.
Yeah, so like while there's so many digital hoardings, you want banners, but
Right.
there's so many eyeballs even when people are walking in areas that have a lot of footfall. So I think it makes it so much easier with someone, with via programmatic rather than finding vendors and sitting and cracking a deal with individual vendors. So I think as planners and strategists, it also helps us open up doors just not on digital websites, apps, but onto digital screens as well. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, so you can select digital banners through programmatic channel, programmatic way, and there is a one more innovating thing which I observed since last few days. Once you just walk away from those banners, those big LED banners, you will start to get remarketing banners on your mobile,
Yeah.
and once you reach home, you will start to see the banners on your smart TV as well.
Okay,
And
so
this
this
is
is
happening.
offline
Yes,
plus online.
this
So
is
it's-
offline.
connected,
This is a merger between offline and online through digital banners.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this everything is happen through programmatic channels only.
Quite scary now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
it's just
Yeah,
scary.
very
You're
scary.
just
But no, I realized 5 years ago only that the digital ecosystem knows anything and
Yeah.
everything
Yeah,
about
yeah.
us, so nothing
Yeah.
surprises me
Yeah, it's-
anymore.
I mean, now it's too late to try to take.
Yeah, no, my
away
career is
anything
built
like-
on this, so I don't.
career is built on that. In fact, I mean, I use the mic as a great feature to actually shop. Right, if I'm looking for something, I just go and say the keyword on my phone, and it starts serving me ads. With different brands, different
Yeah.
options. So it's like my personal shoppers become the Instagram advertising on stories, right? So I think let's actually make the
Yeah.
most of it if you can't evade it.
Yeah, you can't.
So in Meta and Google, like once you click on it, then you will start to get remarketing. Here the game is different. Once your eyeball saw
it,
that
yeah.
banner,
You're in
खत्म.
that vicinity. Yeah.
आपको banner दिखता रहेगा.
Okay. That can
Interesting.
be a bit annoying also, but it's important to note
Yeah.
that. But I think parallelly also we are, a Google Business Premier partner
Yes.
and a Meta partner as well, and I think that has been a great relationship for us also.
Yeah.
I think we've learned a lot with them, and of course we've grown with them. Anything that you want to talk about in terms of how that partnership has benefited the kind of work that we do for clients today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think now, like with Schbang growing with this partnership that we've got, I'd seen, I think 3 years ago, I would have to go to Priyam for everything. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting my SOV. And I was like, can you explain to me what SOV is? To now, almost all our accounts have like an AM.
Yeah. a
So
dedicated
it's so much
account.
more personalized, tailored experience to what we need to be doing for
Yeah.
that brand, rather than just one, Google partner and him looking after 10 to 12 brands.
Right.
So we get such specific direction. We get a lot in terms of what the brand is doing, category is doing. A lot of support in terms of proactive pitching from their end in terms of audience sizing.
Yeah.
Right.
For B2B, actually, it's helped us a lot because while B2C is slightly easier to pick on compared to a B2B. I think these AMs have helped us there with a lot of these beta bundles or that has been rolled out to Schbang to leverage it for our brands. So yeah, I think it's been very helpful for Meta and for Google for even brand lift studies. From that per se. So yeah, I think it's been good so far.
Also, it adds a lot more credibility, right? Any badge that comes with a Google or a Facebook or even a LinkedIn for that matter, clients look at you in a different light.
Yeah.
They know that you all are officially partners with them. Any sort of information that is required or if they need any sort of support in matters that would not be possible for them, they are there to help us out. As she rightly put, a lot of betas have been rolled out to us which have been beneficial to our clients. It just has that first mover advantage for them as well. Internally also, I think the client does get to portray that we've had this support from Schbang, which is coming in from your Googles and Facebooks, and it puts us in better light for that matter.
I'm going to pick up on a point you mentioned, Aashka, about B2B, right? And again, it's a question I get asked a lot as well, that can I use digital marketing or digital media for B2B specific, specifically for lead generation, right? I know we have a couple of clients that probably even you're working on right now for B2B. Any quick strategies you want to talk about, or platforms or placements that have worked which someone can just replicate and take it? Maybe you don't want to name the brands if you don't want to, but something which has worked very, very well for us.
So for B2B, it's a very long journey in process in terms of lead gen. So using maybe two different tools, or not like platforms per se, to have that ongoing top of mind. So for us, for one of our brands, as what's worked is Google as the highest intent. So while it's a very, very strategic list of keywords and audience sets, and from what companies they belong, we get them onto Google. We just take them to the website as a session. We don't want to do any conversion at that point. We just want to educate them. So we use that medium, and then we remarket via LinkedIn. So you're using a second medium which these people potentially, or your audience potentially uses. So you move on to that platform where your audience is present, and you sort of remarket there. So I think that has worked for us in a way where use high intent audience, drive them to website, and then remarket from a platform that does not have high intent. So that strategy has worked well. And I think like building on these first party is important in a B2B segment, because where else would you go? So that's a second thing in terms of first party. And the last thing, I'm just thinking like what more, there's so much to talk on this topic. But I think conversational in India specifically, if your brand is an Indian based brand, even from a B2B, a lot of people have moved away from calling somebody and understanding. They all want to first read it by themselves, get educated about the business, and then sort of once they are maybe 20-30% aware is when they wanted to call. Initially it used to be a sales rep sort of okay, got the lead, let's call and explain to them the business. So conversational marketing has now moved its way in, at least for India. I'm not too sure about the markets abroad, because WhatsApp is still very intrusive, very personal. But in India, it's become that, okay, get them onto WhatsApp, get them, to start talking to you. What do they exactly need? And then you provide to them a solution before that first sales call. So I think that has worked pretty well with our B2B partners here.
All of our clients, right, whether it can be in the pipes industry or the tiles industry, or even services for salon and things like that, WhatsApp integration is a must, and we've started doing that. We have our own in-house tech team and the CRM team and our digital transformation team that looks into it. It's an added value that we are giving to our clients, so it's a must at this point in time.
Okay. I think a good few points for B2B. I think coming to also AI, right? Like AI right now is a buzzword for, be it in the creative space, in technology, in media, of course, it's been there. And then I think we all are interacting with AI in its own form since many years, like right from Google Maps to like a Siri or Assistant. I think it's been there in its own manners across, but I think now it's become a lot more consumer facing. It's actually making our lives a lot more simpler as well. And also AI in media has become a big buzzword as well. Anything which you guys are seeing currently come up as new trends of media with AI, maybe if you want to talk about anything?
I think he did something very interesting, that you could put the script and that could help the your Google ads perform better. I think that was very interesting.
ChatGPT-4.
So in ChatGPT, so basically
हिंदी में बोलना तो हिंदी में बोलना
हाँ हाँ बोलते हैं. तो in ChatGPT, what I have done in the daily routine or optimization, what exactly we do some bid optimization. We pause some poor performing keywords, and we increase the bid where we are getting good conversions, good CTR. So these daily optimization routine, we can fix it in a script.
Yeah.
So I just put it one command in Chat GPT ki please make one Google ad script where ROS has to be 5 and we need to pause poor performing keyword and where the keywords are performing better, you need to push it further and increase the bid over there. So they just made one ready ChatGPT made one ready-made script. उसने एक अच्छा एक स्क्रिप्ट बना के दिया. वहाँ पे मुझे बस वैल्यूज को चेंज करना है और ऐड गूगल ऐड में उसको अपलोड करना है.
Okay.
तो वो हर और एक टाइम सेट करूँगा कि भाई ये एक सुबह ये स्क्रिप्ट रन हो या शाम को स्क्रिप्ट रन हो. तो उसके हिसाब से वो स्क्रिप्ट रन होता है और अपने आप ऑप्टिमाइजेशन होता है.
और ये स्क्रिप्ट मैंने डाला है अभी गूगल में.
Yes.
ये गूगल के डैशबोर्ड में डाला है और अपने आप से ऑटोमेशन हो रहा है.
Yes, हो जाता है.
Tested.
Okay, awesome. What about you guys? Have you
Quite
seen
interesting.
again, like I think on PMax or Advantage Plus Shopping? Yeah.
On Google, yeah, the PMax campaigns are
Performance
being
Max,
run.
we can talk
Performance,
about- yeah, let's explain what
Performance
that
Max
actually is,
are campaigns that are being run, and a similar campaign that is on Facebook is called Advantage Plus Shopping. These campaigns or these products by these guys have only been made to generate ROAS. It is purely for revenue. In fact, any client that comes to us, if it is not D2C or if it is not revenue oriented, we don't even suggest PMax or Advantage Plus Shopping, because you'll only see the values of these campaigns if they are directly revenue oriented. And mind you, the results that we've seen in a short span of 2 to 3 weeks, where we would probably take 6 weeks to understand what's
Right.
working, what's not working. Obviously, because of human intervention, you're looking at different creatives, you're looking at different audiences, you're looking at different locations, so on and so forth. But now with these campaigns coming in, it's become so much easier. The learning time is so much shorter. You know this is working, and we go ahead with that, and it gives you the revenue. So it's
But-
in fact amazing.
Yeah, but to add to you, Priyam, like when we talk to clients, they have a small budget.
Yeah.
But because the inventory is so large that, with that small budget, we've not seen this sort of...
Yeah, I mean, obviously
yeah.
you need some budgets to evaluate
Correct.
or experiment and all
Correct.
of that. So yeah, with small budgets it might not work.
Exactly.
But I mean,
We've
at least
tried.
with our clients,
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
luckily, touch wood, it's worked very
Yeah.
well.
Can we talk about a couple of clients who have probably used it? Maybe this is a category or sector that has actually
yes,
used it.
we've
What
used
kind
it
of
in-
ROAS have they seen?
In travel, we've used it for...
FMCG also
yeah,
we've
for
used it.
FMCG.
What kind of outcome have you seen for that?
So we've seen a lot, like 10, 12 ROAS, because our average, not even, I think more, 40, 50 ROAS, because the average booking value for the product
Travel,
was
yeah.
so high that, even at a very small amount, nominal amount for a cost per booking, we were getting that large orders. So there, I mean, it's worked wonders for us with PMax as well as, Advantage Plus.
On FMCG, it's been like a good average of 3, 4. I mean, a 4 is like a threshold that you see, with smaller AOVs. So yeah, that's there. But
Yeah, but also there's a lot of, not a lot, but like a negative flip side to it is we don't know exactly what works.
Yeah.
Because there's no breakdown of how the
Learning,
campaign
yeah.
performed. So it's performing, which is fine, but at the end, when you want to go back to your dashboard and say, okay, did this particular placement
There's
perform?
no learnings that
there's
you
no
can see.
There's
learning.
no learning.
In fact,
There's
now
no view.
what they've done is that I think Google has added some additions that you
Yeah.
can see the placements breakdown and things
Right.
like that, because it's great for the client that they are seeing performance,
Yeah.
but they also want to know what's working, right?
Exactly.
And, they want to know for future campaigns what is it that we need to do, whether
Yeah.
it's from a creator standpoint or it's from a placement standpoint. So if those insights are not available, it's also a little bit challenging.
yeah.
Yeah, so before this Advantage Plus, what we used to do, we analyze which are the top placements
Correct.
are,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we enable only those placements.
Correct.
And because of that, Meta and Google's those inventory which are not performing, never again getting sold it out. तो वो बिकता ही नहीं था. तो now they come up with the Advantage Plus, they have Performance Max.
सब
So
बिकेगा.
पूरा उसमें सब बिकेगा. तो उनका वही प्रायोरिटी होता है कि मेरे सारे इन्वेंटरीज
Inventory
बिके,
yeah.
तो उसमें सब बिकेगा.
Okay.
फिर आप बोलोगे इसमें मुझे लर्निंग नहीं मिल रहा है, बोला आपको सेल मिल रहा है ना, आप आम खाओ गुटली मत गिरो, आपको दिया है, आप सेल चाहिए, सेल दिया, that's it.
Okay,
Correct.
interesting. So I think AI has made our lives a bit simpler.
No, but there's
Yeah.
also a contradicting view, because, and especially with the FMCG sector, while you get the sales, the returns percentage is also quite high at times.
Yeah.
Also,
you ha-
customers returning a product.
Yes, so
Okay.
you have to be pretty mindful, and
Take it
it
with a
might
pinch
be a
of
little
salt.
scammy, I don't know. So we are still also trying to figure out why that should happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that maybe we need not just scale up A plus SC and performing
It has to
max,
be a
but actually it should be a
combination,
combination of the traditional
Yeah.
campaigns which you anyway
Correct.
run and some part of that as
Yes.
Correct, but just sorry to add the last point
Yeah.
to this is the reason why these have come up is for easy setup.
Yeah.
So like, the smaller clients, or the ones who want to do media by themselves, it's very easy. Like, it's like you watch a YouTube video and you can set it up.
Set it up, yeah.
So it's AI has made it in that sense, which is good for them. But then over a while, because there's no learning, there's no agency attached to you, there's no specialist in the field attached to you, you will see a sort of stagnation. You might not see that growth that you ideally would if you had some specialist attached
Right.
to your account, to your brand, to know what works, what does not work. So this entire AI has been made to make lives easier for people, startups and people of small budgets to just test
Right.
by themselves. But yeah, like I don't think people should just use that. So yeah, don't shy away from using the other platforms and agencies.
I'm still a little traditional.
Yeah.
I always feel human intervention is required. Like,
Definitely.
course.
that
Very
way.
important.
I am
Definitely.
very
Yeah.
traditional in that thought process.
Of course,
but
yeah, fair enough. I think coming to a word which we have heard a couple of times, which you call integration, right? And that's
Yeah.
also the genesis with which actually Schbang was built out. That how we can integrate services together, how we can actually
Yeah.
integrate, the different departments, different services coming together to solve the client's problems. And I think media today is not seen as an outside child. It's actually
Yeah.
very ingrained within every strategy, because
Yeah.
we know organic is dead. We know that we need to boost our content. We
Yeah.
need to run ads to actually show people the content. And while our teams are investing money in creation, of course, even getting the eyeballs is required to drive further conversions. Now, I think what differentiates Schbang is the fact that we have all departments sort of working together in the same system. And again,
Yeah.
we spoke about tech being a part of
Yeah.
it through marketing automation and the full funnel with even conversational commerce. We know creative is important because they drive
Yeah.
the creatives for the ad. Could be a video, short format, long format, could be static banners, animation. I want to ask you guys, what has been some of your best integrated work that you guys have done in the past couple of years, because of
Yeah.
just the fact that you get the whole shebang together and work
Yeah.
on a campaign with the other teams in the company as well?
Oh my God, there have been a lot, and and it was much simpler back then. This is something I'm talking about 5 years ago. So we worked on a campaign for Hobby Ideas, which was a simple contest, right? We had to run a contest for art enthusiasts to purchase these new sort of paints that they've come out with. A very simple ask, in the contest, while they are drawing or painting or whatever, they had to buy that particular paint and actually upload their entries onto our website. It worked phenomenally well because we had a video with a celebrity which showcased what they are supposed to do for the contest. Explanations were given on how you need to go onto the website, upload your pictures, and then finally when is the winner going to be announced, and so on and so forth. So that entire integration, right from us pushing out the videos for getting the entries, to actually seamlessly understanding that yes, entries are being uploaded, announcing the winners at the end of 2 months, and then we also got a feedback from the client that sales for that particular category had grown by 10x or 20x during our campaign, and there was no other major thing happening at that point in time. So that was extremely fulfilling for us as a team because we barely spent anything. It was not a very huge amount, must be 10-15 lakhs, but it did create a value of few crores for them. So that was extremely good.
So
know,
this
to
was an
have on
integration
board.
between creative,
It was creative, influencers, tech, media, all of it, and
Schbang motion pictures as well.
and Schbang motion pictures because we actually shot the video. We conceptualized it as well. So it's right from creative to video to media and everything. Yeah. So that was it was a very
hit.
good integrated campaign. In fact, there are so many.
Most of our clients are integrated.
Most of our clients are.
You wanna add one which you
See,
had
it's
recently?
not easy.
I know it's not easy. Which
So
I would love to talk about
Which I'm
Crompton.
asking.
Like, Crompton
please,
is great.
Yeah.
Like, we've had them like for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And, I've been working on it from the start when they came to us. So their evolution also, but again, it was not only focused on media, but their creatives, how is it performing on the website, tracking the sessions, things like that. And also again, tech plays a very important part because the entire SEO piece, the website piece is being managed by Schbang.
Correct, yeah. So I think that was great because you also had 9 categories.
Yeah.
So individually strategizing for each of those 9 categories from a web and each campaign that we're doing, there was like a different SEO, different website, different media that runs, different campaigns from a communication standpoint, and how all of it just seamlessly sort of comes in. I think at the end, it's so easy because everybody's in-house.
Right.
So if you want a quick change or a quick turnaround, and we're all, colleagues, but we all sit together, we're all like sort of friends, we get lunch together. So at lunch, we just nudge them like, please just get it done, I need it for my media. So it just becomes so easy as a team and a unit that you're not dependent on somebody else.
No, but I'll tell you the flip side of this also. I have clients that we are only running media for them, we are only running creative for them, but not doing the media piece. And there have been times where the media agency has not given them categoric feedback that okay, probably this creative or this audience is not working well. And we have to get on call with them to give them an understanding as to why this could be happening, because our creatives are we are making the creatives for them, and they need to perform for the client. If they're not performing, obviously the question is going to come to us. So if the creative team does not have the right direction, it poses a problem. So and there have been instances where we are not doing the media for them, but we have to get involved to give some sort of direction.
So I think when I joined Schbang, I think Finolex was one of the clients that I had been servicing as my first client. And while that, we also have an integrated mandate for them, like from creating the TVC from scratch, and then we getting the rights to use it on media, along with the sustenance creatives that are made by the solutions team, an entire research piece that went on to what location should we specifically be doing this campaign. So it's so interesting because it starts with the research, it goes into creation of assets, it goes into deciding what platforms, what locations we specifically want to be doing the ads to. That's when media steps in, and then your influencer comes in terms of what influencer we want to choose for this campaign. So it's a very integrated approach that we've taken for Finolex. While they are still top of funnel awareness, they also have a lot of emphasis and focus on leads. So it's very interesting when 2 different objectives, entire team at Schbang doing the work. So I think it gives us a very good result at the end of the campaign, because then there's no blame game as such, They're like, acha, creatives are coming in from
that's also a flip side to it. Then everything is in-house only. You can't blame the other team.
Like, but it's good, no, because people
like, aapka team hi hai, aap kya kar rahe ho?
Because this has happened, like, when the website is someone else's and we are running the media.
You can push the
I love it. I love it. I say your website team is not doing a good job. I love doing that.
No, but that's not the approach we like to take. We like to take onus for all the work we do.
No, exactly. But it's always like, then you get into nitty-gritties of website. It didn't load on time and this and that. But since everything is your the entire responsibility,
you can't
get away.
Yeah, you can't give the client a reason as to why it's not working. They'll be like,
Exactly.
you all figure it out. It's within your
So I think that increases
ecosystem. It increases pressure. It increases responsibility and accountability.
So I think that's the good thing I like when we all work together, because it's literally our job to get it done.
Yeah.
So there's no blame game, there's nothing.
इंटीग्रेटेड एजेंसी का बेनिफिट क्या है कि हम एक दूसरे के साथ लर्निंग काफ़ी अच्छी तरह से शेयर कर सकते हैं.
Right.
For example, if we have a SEO also with us, media also with us, Martech also with us. So, if I am doing any kind of media on Google search, and some of the keywords which are performing very well, some generic keyword, then I can share that learning with the SEO team. Okay, guys, you can use these kind of keywords because these keywords are getting more sales. So you can target those keywords into your SEO.
Right.
Okay, and even SEO team also share their learning with us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
By checking into their search console and say ki Prakash bhai, there is a multiple keywords are there which you guys are not targeting,
Right.
but we are getting a very good interaction from here, but we are on the 4th page or 5th page. तो अगर आप गूगल सर्च करके उसको अगर फर्स्ट पे आओगे तो आपको ज़्यादा क्लिक्स आएंगे. So that kind of learning we are sharing with each other.
So I think it's interesting to see how everyone is dependent on the other. Like if the creative is bad, the communication is bad, the media gets affected. Or if you're cannibalizing, keywords on SEO plus on the media, then again you're competing with each other for the same eyeball. So I think it's important to sort of get all of these moving parts working parallelly
together.
as well, but also them
Yeah.
working together at some point in time because it
Exactly.
all comes down to see how we can drive performance for the client. Right?
Correct.
So there are no separate departments here. These are the departments which are connected with each other.
Yeah.
But
With
that's
the
also
same end objective.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
see, that's also always been a client's requirement. It's easier for them to coordinate with one agency for multiple things rather than with other agencies for smaller things. So it just works both ways.
Yeah. I think moving on to the question of, I think someone spoke about first party data, that FPDs have become important.
Very.
We know we're migrating towards a cookieless world, and all those, those scary thoughts keep coming up and scary articles keep coming up and everyone's questioning, say, oh my god, what's going to happen? But it's reality, it's going to happen at some point in time.
It's not yet happened.
It's not yet happened,
Yeah,
it is in the works. So,
happen,
have we seen the conversations with clients sort of move towards FPDs? Are clients open to collecting data? Are they open to sharing data? Again, this entire question of data has also become a burning topic among clients, right? Like
sharing data to never, but acquiring
but
data, yes.
Sharing their offline data onto online, running campaigns that way, especially for omni-channel brands, right? So just let's talk about how FPD sort of become important today, and what are some things that if any brands are watching today, any new startups watching, what can they incorporate into their FPD strategies?
So while of course we are going into this cookieless world, now we are starting to choose media where we can create those remarketing pools. Like a very small example is on a YouTube, non-skip ad. We cannot make that cookie pool of people who've seen the ad. Versus on a skippable ad, we can make that cookie pool and then remarket to them. So that is, one way. We start taking people to a landing page that's owned by us. Even if it is a lead form, we give them information in exchange for their data. Or take them to a website where they can engage with us as a session, or engage with a lot of content that we have to give. So that definitely has started, and it has moved to, I think, at least for whoever we have as clients, from pixels
in fact,
as data.
What clients are doing now is they don't mind just creating a website only to create information. People who didn't have a landing page, or clients who didn't have a landing page, it didn't matter in the past, but now they are okay with just building that only to collect this. Obviously QR code scanning is becoming a huge thing to get them, whether it's offline or online, just get them to a destination, fill in some details. You don't need a lot, you just need an email address and a phone number, that's it. And you have that saved in your system for the longest time. So everyone is migrating gradually towards this sort of an approach, and honestly it is required as a need of the hour, and yeah.
And also, I think the dependencies on vendors is increasing because they have their own set of DSPs, DMPs that they sort of have
What
in
DSPs
place.
and DMPs, let's talk about.
Wow, this is just putting me on spot. I think it's
Demand
data
side.
management,
Demand
side platform is
Demand side
DSP,
platform.
and DMP is
Data
management
Data
platform.
management.
yes, yes, guys. So these DSPs and DMPs are coming into play. So the dependencies on vendors is also, as a media, increasing for this first party, because they have so much data available that people sort of leverage, moving away from self-serve. So I think that's a conversation that we've started with our clients. So yeah.
And what are some of the things that we can do once we actually capture that FPD, the first party data? What are some things that we can actually do with that data which will drive ROAS potentially? Like, what are some things we can do?
So I have some beauty brand websites I have, okay, and if I am using first party data over there, मैंने आज प्रोडक्ट खरीदा तो मैं तुरंत दूसरे दिन नहीं खरीदूंगा. तो what I will do, I will make a first party data according to okay, this customer purchased product today, so I will start to remarket them after 20 days, 30 days when this product gets over और खत्म होने की तैयारी में हो तभी, ठीक है. That kind of first party data management is required. First is. Second one, we can create lookalike ads.
Okay.
We can upload those first party data into our ad platforms and create a lookalike and similar audience of it. So we can start to get some similar customers and we can show our products to them.
Okay.
So this will help us to increase our ROAS. Yeah. Also, it helps us to reduce some money wastage also. For example, you purchase this product today. So I'm not going to show my ads to you again and again for the next 20-25 days. Yeah. So from that perspective, I can do some money optimization.
You can remove me, you can negate
You
me.
I
can negate
I
them.
can remove you.
I
Because
think
you already know me. Yeah.
Yeah. To add to this, I think the biggest advantage is that personalization that you can add with the data that you've received, right? And nowadays all of your brands are there on WhatsApp. You get a personal message regarding a purchase for a product. It adds a lot more value. You can get you can be a part of a loyalty program. You can get additional discounts, etc., etc. So all of these possibilities are there. You can segment your audiences basis the behavior also. So in case if I'm a person who enjoys probably Bollywood. You can frame a message basis that, and try and entice me to click it or even purchase it or whatever it may be. So I think personalization is the best outcome from this data
Yes.
that we get.
Yeah.
Also, like I mentioned, I will not show my ads to you, but yes, but still I will keep my communication continue with you. But I will send you some emailer or I will do some WhatsApp
So marketing
interaction with
automation,
you.
yeah.
I will send you some personalized coupons.
Right.
Okay, so you can come and you can buy another product over here.
So what he is very
it's
right
DM,
about actually is because you will touch them at different touch points. You will not only focus on one medium. You will have the ability to go on A, B, C, D, E, and he doesn't convert from A, he is bound to convert by E. So that's the
So
beauty of
typically,
it.
what's the frequency that we should keep in mind? Like, because we're talking about different touch points, not just on the media side, but typically, what kind of frequency should we have to get someone to actually consider and remember and convert? Typically,
It's not an ideal situation to keep bombarding, but I think at least 8 to 10 times within a month.
okay.
But not with the same communication. If the communication is same, it's very annoying. It hampers the user experience and all of that. If it's different on different platforms, then 8 to 10 is good.
But still, it's got to look like it's coming from the same
Yeah,
brand.
same
right?
brand,
Same brand.
but it doesn't need to be the same
Exact same
image or
communication, yeah.
same communication. It can be different.
Got it. You want to add to it? Okay.
No, I think they've pretty much covered it.
Okay, cool.
I was just thinking of first party in order to like the GPay, that one ad spot that people don't talk much about.
Your PTMs and
like,
GPs?
yeah, because like a lot of the people are now using, I think all of us use UPI, right?
Yeah.
So as an ad space, it's not used. It's not to generate first party data, but just to be present because there's so many people there. And these scratch cards, you know, it's very interesting, it's very intriguing because I don't know if I want to use it, I'm just going to scratch it the minute I've paid, you know. So I feel that is an important way again to be there because people are using it and then you get them to your website to create that first party data because people talk a lot about Facebook, Google, vendors, all of that, but it's very small ad units like this just go amiss. So it's my personal favorite, I think, to
Pretty
do
cool.
these
Scratch cards as a part of the media funnel.
something with UPI apps because they have so much data already. So how we can leverage that for our, you know, for your clients.
Okay. The next question is, what's the formula of CPM?
Oh my god.
Listen, I will kill you.
Okay,
I swear I will kill you,
my Excel
Aashka.
sheet is right there. Okay, it's budget upon impressions into 1,000.
Thank you.
Yeah, good one.
Good job.
CTR?
Click through rate, which is the clicks upon the impressions into 100.
Yeah.
Good job. Full mark.
Yeah, guys, they are just
Google.
pulling my leg because of one pressure moment they put me in some time ago.
Ask him.
Same question.
No, the other one. Ask some other formula. No.
There's no other complicated ones beyond these.
ROAS?
ROAS.
What's the difference in ROAS and ROI?
One is measured
ROI
in
से return
percentage,
on
one
ad
is
spend and
अरे full form का नहीं यार. Explain करो difference.
one is measured in X, one is measured in percentage.
Oh.
वन इज तो एक तो रोएस में क्या हमको मालूम पड़ता है कि कितना एड स्पेंड रिटर्न आने वाला है
तो ROI भी सेम होता है.
सेम होता है लेकिन रोएस में हमको परसेंटेज वाइज हमें मालूम पड़ता है 1x 2x छोड़ो ना यार.
This तो has to be a part of it and the bloopers. छोड़ो ना यार. Okay, cool.
CPE.
Oh my god, cost per engagement.
VTR.
View through rate.
A formula.
View through a formula. The view is upon, like, so through plays upon your impressions into 1,000. VTR is not equal to full video views.
100.
It's not.
Into 100. It's a
Percentage. I
Why you
said
said
no.
1,000?
1,000 you said.
I'm in CPM.
Failed. Eliminated.
Squid Game.
Okay, cool. I think moving on. So again, because we deal with so much data, right, and a lot of our job is looking at numbers, number crunching, also making sense of data, right? Any tools which you're currently using that is helping make work efficient, also like working with teams efficient, you know?
So many. So I think from a strat point of view, we use SimilarWeb, SEMrush. It's just to understand what the industry is doing and then moving into what your competition is doing, and then of course you know what you're doing. So to build that entire storyline of what we need to do just in order for research, we definitely use that. And then SEMrush more for like the nitty-gritty planning of keywords and things like that. That's when we use SEMrush. And so from planning, I think these ComScore hopefully soon.
ComScore is there.
But that's for
From a
AOPs.
larger strat point, yes.
Yeah.
To understand the digital universe and, you know, what is the audience mostly consuming.
Yeah.
And then how do you actually place your bets on these platforms.
I think Looker Studio for reporting. I think that's...
See, anything automating our reports is saving our time.
Yeah.
And we get to spend more time on reading those numbers a little deeper to give some sort of valuable insights to the client. So report making has definitely, you know, become a way lot easier now. We have multiple metrics that we need to report, so it's very cumbersome to just keep downloading reports and all of that. All of this is integrated. They pull the numbers from the back end. You just have to see the numbers, and then you have to just interpret those numbers in the best way possible.
It's Looker Studio, right?
Yeah, Looker Studio is there.
And also it gives clients, you know, the...
Even
one
Windsor
view.
was there, but I mean, Looker Studio worked better for us. I think Windsor didn't work that well,
But yeah, I think it's also more handy for clients to have that data, so they don't need to keep reaching
Yeah,
out
it's
to
real
us.
time,
It's
so
real
it's-
time and
It syncs through dashboards,
जब
so...
भी client को report देखना हो तो can instantly
अभी हर 5 मिनट क्लाइंट फोन करेगा कि
Report
ये
भेजो।
इसका नंबर क्या है, इसका बढ़ा के नहीं, तो बेटर है.
वो better है कि Looker Studio से वो instantly देख पाए. No time loss.
Yeah.
Any other tools which you're using right now for any of your...
Currently तो I'm using Reach Planner.
Reach planner.
Reach
Okay.
planner on the YouTube,
On YouTube.
उसमें है तो we can put the frequency, or for example if I want to put 5 का frequency and this much is my budget and this much is my category, so YouTube only suggests us that this is your overall reach and this as per this kind of frequency. So this one is very much important into media planning.
Yeah. We've also used ChatGPT for ad creation because you have to make these Google ad copies with 15 headlines and 4 descriptions every time we take the ad live. So it's of course there needs to be human intervention in terms of the tone and the voice of the brand, but it gives you a very good start point with those 30 headlines. Usme se you pick and choose. So we've started using it for ad copy generation because it delays things so much. Like we are waiting for this requirements like the MR or the media requirements. It sort of takes 2 to 3 days to get. So this actually integrates with ChatGPT to get it easier as a tool. So yeah, for copies, we've been using these.
Okay, interesting. And Prakash, to you, when we talk about again working with publishers, right? What are some of the things that you keep in mind while picking the right kind of publisher? Because again, since you're at the center of the entire team when it comes to getting the best rates and getting the best plans for us, what are a few things that you keep in mind as a filter to identify the right partner for a campaign?
So firstly, what I do, I do some research about the vendor. I check in my network what's the background of this publisher or network. Are they good? Are they good in what? Are they good in branding? Are they good in performance? Because when you start to interact with them now, they will say, sir हम branding करते हैं, sir हम performance भी करते हैं, sir हम सब करते हैं. सब करते is not important, क्या अच्छा करते हो, that is important. So that's why I choose selective publisher with those who are good into branding, okay, and some of the publishers which are good into OTT, okay, and some are good into audience buying also.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is very much important. Also, while interacting with them, I ask for the case studies. तो I need to understand कि भाई आपने अगर काम किया है तो आप केस स्टडीज दिखाओ और आपका रेट कार्ड भेजो. द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज प्राइसिंग, बिकॉज हर वेंडर अपना अलग प्राइसिंग लेके आता है और यू हैव टू व्हेन यू आर डीलिंग विद मल्टीपल वेंडर्स you should have a knowledge of overall pricing level कि भाई ये OTT पर ये CPM पे चलता है, अगर मुझे ये प्लेसमेंट चाहिए इसका तो रेट ये है, तो सारा प्राइसिंग आपको पता होना चाहिए. ठीक है, and this will help you very much into negotiation. Yeah and whenever I assign some brief to them, I will never send one brief to one single vendor. I will send it to multiple vendors because comparison is very much important. कि क्या मुझे कहाँ से क्या बेटर डील मिल रहा है. अगर कोई मुझे बहुत सस्ता दे रहा है वहाँ पे भी प्रॉब्लम है, इतना सस्ता क्यों दे रहा है. तो मैं सबसे बहुत महंगा है तो प्रॉब्लम है, बहुत सस्ता है तो प्रॉब्लम है, कहीं पे मिड वे हमें जाना ज़रूरी है. तो दैट व्हाट आई डू.
Good tips for sure. I think coming to a couple of last questions before we move to the career section is any blunders that have been committed in the past few years which
Too many
that come to mind.
The
And
first
of course
thing,
because we're dealing with
money.
money, right? We're dealing with money, and of course we treat clients' money like our own money always.
My money always.
But yes, mistakes do happen. It's bound to happen. It's human.
Yeah.
How much of automation and tech we can integrate, sometimes mistakes do happen. Without naming names and without naming clients.
They will come back and comment, yes, you did this for our campaign.
What are some mistakes that have been committed by
my God,
each one of you individually?
I have at least 5.
Just thinking, someone wrongly told us that zero has no value.
Okay.
Whoever this person taught us in school, zero has no value.
Before or after number?
In media, it has a lot of value.
Of course it does.
So whoever has understood this, they've understood. But yeah, I think small, the one that I can remember right
Not
now.
small, I mean, okay.
Wrong Facebook page.
Oh my God.
The wrong handle, showing a wrong creative, and it goes out for a bit until someone sees the screenshot or preview link is opened, and they're like, okay, you know, this is
This
the wrong.
is not our brand only.
So yeah, of course, like we
Rectify it immediately, but
yeah,
yeah,
but that's
there have
one
been
mistake that
times,
I've made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Priyam, what would you?
Overspends have happened, and I wouldn't say in thousands. It has been in
Did you get a salary that year?
cut. No, but it's difficult because yeah, you know, there are ways in which you can set rules and all of that, but there is a point, and if you're dealing with large budgets, right,
Yeah.
and if it's an ongoing campaign and there are you know, there are creatives going up every single day, or even like maybe 5 creatives a day, there are these mistakes that are bound to happen. You need to have a very strong check on the
Yeah.
budgets, and obviously I will tell the team that you keep a buffer. Like if you're not confident, you keep a buffer so that we, you know, we adjust it with the other creatives and the other budgets. But yeah, they happen. Obviously we try to minimize it to the best of our abilities, but yeah, in fact, yeah, wrong creatives going out, budgets.
I think the UTM trackers, you know,
There has been a wrong landing page.
yeah.
Oh wow.
You have
okay.
been taken to a wrong landing page, or the landing page is not working, and unfortunately for us, it was our team that was working on it.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't even blame it to someone else.
404 error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there have been yeah, quite a few of these, and you know, with time you are so sure now that there's a checklist now
Yeah.
in my mind that
Yeah.
these things have to be in place before you even think of starting a campaign. Otherwise, please don't start. It's as
You gotta
simple
check
as
and
that.
recheck and recheck. after
Recheck
that, right?
every
Checklist is
single
very
time.
much important, yeah.
Every single time you have to check, and you know, even after the campaign is live, there are times when you have given rates to the client, but they go way above those particular rates. So you need to, you know, course correct at that point in time and not give the client a shock at the end of the campaign. That's
Yeah.
not acceptable, and you know, clients don't take it.
I don't know, but for me, there's a random gut feeling. Kuch nahi acha hai. I go back onto the campaign to check, and I'm like, oh, this landing page has so the UTM parameters that are there. It had a percentage sign.
Okay.
And
So
I'm
it
like, that's
doesn't
not
be
allowed,
allowed,
yeah.
because it will not track.
Track,
So
yeah.
then my digital media becomes a traditional media, and I'll
Yeah.
not know anything that happened. But I don't know, for me, it's just like this weird gut feeling that I'm not okay with this campaign. And after the setup is done by whoever the team members are, and I'll just go and I'll be like, just for my satisfaction, 2 minutes. And yeah, I think I've once or twice it's come, but it's a weird thing of telepathy with my job.
Yeah.
Good, it comes
That's a
now.
good thing.
So gut, what about you, Prakash? You had many
Yeah.
more years of experience. I'm sure many more errors committed.
Yeah, many more. तो around
क्या करोड़ में कि लाख में?
नहीं, लाखों में ही हुआ है,
अच्छा,
करोड़ में नहीं हुआ.
नहीं हुआ.
फिर
अच्छा,
3 महीना मैंने थोड़ा थोड़ा कट लिया था उसमें सैलरी कट. तो it was an overspend
हाँ.
on one of the brand, education brand, and I didn't I realized very later, मतलब अरे ये अमाउंट कुछ ज़्यादा बड़ा क्यों दिख रहा है. तो I keep refreshing it. मतलब ये तो उतना ही आ रहा है, ये क्या हो क्या गया इसमें. Then later I told my senior कि अरे ऐसा ऐसा overspend हो गया है, क्या करना है. So थोड़ा तो सुनना है तो सुनना ही है. But the most important part is we should learn from our mistakes कि ये क्यों हुआ. क्योंकि मैंने कोई कैपिंग नहीं रखा, मैंने कुछ बजट कैपिंग नहीं रखा, कोई रूल सेट नहीं किए. Then what I used to do in the account setting, I used to keep a budget cap over there.
Yeah.
कि मैं कितना भी स्पेंड कर लूँ, ये 2 लाख के ऊपर जाएगा ही नहीं. भले ही मेरे कैंपेन 2 करोड़ के हो, कभी कभी 0 एक्स्ट्रा ऐड हो गया, तो भी बैकएंड में अगर मैंने डाल के रखा है कैपिंग 2 लाख का, नहीं होगा वो स्पेंड. एंड I used to keep calculating my budgets every day. I made a one media tracker that time, which I used to fill it manually. And nowadays people are running campaign on lifetime budget, but I used to keep my budget. Even I am also recommending today also कि let's keep it running on a daily budget only. So because everyday pricing is not same. Sometimes it's like a share budget. आज 20 रुपए में आ रहा है, 12 आएगा, 18 आएगा. तो जब आपको 12 आएगा, you can push more and get more delivery. तो that time मैं पूरा डेली बजट पे पूरा करता था, और डेली कैलकुलेशन होता था. लाइफ टाइम बजट इज समथिंग विच इज आई यूज्ड टू डू फॉर 24 आवर्स के अंदर. अगर कोई पोस्ट खत्म होने वाला है उसके लिए कर देते हैं. तो वो एक हुआ था. और दूसरा एक गलती हुआ था जब एक टॉपिकल पोस्ट था उसमें भी लाइफ टाइम बजट. आज की तारीख में भी मेटा में वो लूप होल है कि अगर आपने बजट सेट किया है लाइफ टाइम पे, समझो आपने लाइफ टाइम बजट आपने ऐड किया, आपने डेली बजट है, आपने समझो उसको वहाँ पे आप सम लिखते हो कि चलो 5000 रुपीज़, और बाद में आप जब कुछ चेंजेस करते हो और वो लाइफ डेली को आप जैसे आप लाइफ टाइम में घुमाते हो ना, वो जो आपने किया है ना वो 5000 वो निकल के कुछ ऑड अमाउंट आ जाता है वहाँ पे. और अगर आपने वो नहीं देखा खर्चा हो जाएगा वो पूरा का पूरा.
अच्छा.
आज
तो
की तारीख में
ये
भी
डेली बजट में भी होगा और लाइफ टाइम में भी
ये
होगा.
मेटा
तो
का एक
वो
साइड इनकम हो जाता है इसमें कि ये लोग ने एरर किया यहाँ से मेरे को मिल जाएगा. तो ये होते रहता था. दैट्स व्हाई कीपिंग सम ऑप्टिमाइजेशन रूल, budget capping rules is very much important.
So all the pressure is on the buyer then, right, to do this daily tracking, open the
the
dashboard
double
every
check,
day,
checklist
double
has
check
to be there.
Yeah, you have to have.
Because I feel buyers is like a
Traders, right? They are traders. They are dealing with the back end.
they are dealing with the and they are like a cashier also कि
हाँ.
मुझे client ने मुझे पैसा दिया है मैं दे रहा हूँ. It's a very serious kind of job.
Yeah.
ऐसे नहीं कि पैसा दिख नहीं रहा है लेकिन पैसा है. तो उनको उस हिसाब से इतना सीरियस जॉब करना पड़ता है ताकि कुछ भी ना छूटे. दैट्स व्हाई दिस चेकलिस्ट वेरी मच इम्पोर्टेंट.
Got it. So Priyam, specific question to you, right? So
Yes.
you know, as a perception, of course, Schbang is seen to be creative first, digital first, but I think we've also been doing some great work in the mainline space.
Yeah.
And mainline media has been one of our fortes as well that we've built recently. You've worked very closely with a brand called Date Crown, launched them recently in India as well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the journey of how you went about also planning for, you know, a mainline campaign, of course with digital, but mainline being quite a big part of it.
Correct. So actually it was a very simple brief from the client, right? It's a date. Date is that, you know, is something that they are selling, and they were launching specifically in the southern states of India. There has been massive competition there with other brands, you know, which are on the top 1 and 2 positions. We had to try and break that clutter. Now, it's a very big task to do that only with digital. You can't break clutter with purely a digital campaign. I have to create an impact as well. I have to reach the masses as well, which is when there was a thought that we have to try and include some sort of mainline in it, which is going to create a buzz. TV was the first thought that came to me, and obviously with the team also that we were working, we said that TV is a must because I know my competition is doing it. If we are in this space, we have to start doing that. It's going to get that mass visibility that we are looking at. So that was locked. Now what do we do with the remaining budgets was something that we could decide. So how you want to bifurcate with digital, or you want to include a little bit of print, print newspapers, all of that. Again, if you have limited budgets, you would want to use the best of the platforms that you have. So we didn't go ahead with a lot of other offline activities, whether it was print and all of that. So we focused on mainline for TV, and we did a lot of digital to back what we were doing on TV. On digital, we focused on OTT as well as your you know, self-serve platform, because we had a great video that was working for us, and that same video was actually going live on TV as well. So that was an interesting brief that came along our way, that with the budgets that I have, how do I create that maximum impact when I have to break the clutter, right? It was important to do that. We also partnered with IPL during that time because again, competition was there, so we said that yes, if we are also launching, we need to be visible right there. So yeah.
So media from the TV perspective, of course, played the larger awareness driver,
yeah.
and digital helped to amplify that and
Correct.
create the
Digital
engagement
was
as well.
more of a support.
Reminder,
Yeah,
reminder.
was more of a support that we were pushing, but TV was the main focus, and obviously to create that impact, IPL was something that we included, that we needed it to be there.
Right. So I think this is a message to, you know, potential clients and clients that, you know, we do also plan for mainline. We also do mainline campaigns, planning and buying, so including radio and even print and even out of home. So send the briefs our way. Happy to work on some campaigns for you. I think let's segue now, to the last segment, which is around careers, and I think that's very important because I interact with a lot of students as well in colleges, and typically it's like, okay, I want to come to Schbang for creative.
Yeah.
Now the narrative is also moving towards media. Like nowadays, kids want to learn about media. They want to know about how the media landscapes are changing and evolving. Again, since all of you have different backgrounds, for you, Aashka, you're first-time jobber. You also maybe thought of starting a career in creative, but moved towards media. Priyam, you come with a strong HR background, worked at an HR company prior to this. Prakash, also you have an SEO background, moved to media. I think somewhere you have all landed towards saying, okay, media is my career. Just if we can just quickly go around and talk about few tips that if someone wants to build their career in the media planning and the buying space, what are some tips you'd like to give to the young followers here?
You want to start?
I think it's very important for them to first understand what the media landscape is, and there are multiple courses available. You don't even need to go to a formal institute per se. You have these online courses, whether it's Udemy, there's Skillshare, there's
Google Garage.
Google Garage. All of these are there. Just go get some sort of base knowledge. It just helps you open your mind into what the possibilities are within the whole media landscape. And even from a perspective when they want to apply, right, it's always better to have some background about it rather than completely starting from scratch. So yeah, keep at least the basics in mind before thinking of joining anywhere. Understand a couple of lingos, understand terminologies, see formulas, see what brands are doing, things like that. It's important to do your research before thinking of applying anywhere.
Yeah, also I think that it's such a people just assume it's very difficult to get in. I feel to be honest, I don't think it's everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
So when you're doing these courses, I think your interests, if you are interested, it will just be very clear. So then it's not the like you come, you give an interview, and then you get disheartened that hey, I was not taken into the team. It's not that. It's just if you had that basic background, you would know whether you're excited or not. So you don't need drop it if you're not excited. So then to come at to a level of interview wouldn't happen. And to the ones who are excited, like they have this curiosity, like numbers speak. So if numbers speak to you, then yes, do these courses. And like I think then media is.
So loving numbers is important, right?
Or
numbers,
not.
See, it's also, and I'll give you my example. The reason I got into media and I didn't want to do creative and all of that was very simple. I want my work to have some visibility in terms of it needs to be measurable. Like I need to get in revenue, whether it would be sales, or I need to show some sort of metrics that are visible. I am not looking at any qualitative metrics here. So I was very sure of that, which is why it was pretty clear for me.
Okay. Prakash, what about you?
So, like Priyam said, there is no institution, everything is because in India हमारे यहाँ पे एजुकेशन का क्या है परसेप्शन कि भाई अरे मैंने तो कोई कोर्स किया नहीं है, तो मैंने तो कोई इंस्टीट्यूट में कुछ किया नहीं, मेरे को कैसे जॉब मिलेगा. नथिंग लाइक दैट. मेरे टाइम पे ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था. तो आपको बस ऑनलाइन पढ़ना है. सब कुछ यूट्यूब में सब कुछ फ्री अवेलेबल है. आप वहाँ पे आपको सब जो चाहिए आपको मिल जाएगा, या तो हिंदी में या इंग्लिश में, जो भी आप भाषा पसंद करते हो आप उसमें आप पूरा जितना भी चाहिए आप नॉलेज गेन कर सकते हो. बेसिक टर्मिनोलॉजी है वो सब सीख जाओ. यस, लाइक मीडिया, डिजिटल मीडिया में बहुत पैसा है इसलिए मुझे इसमें जाना है. अगर ये परसेप्शन से जाओगे तो नहीं कर पाओगे. आपको
पैसा कहाँ है?
मतलब रहता ना कि यहाँ के ये मार्केट बहुत बूम है, डिजिटल मीडिया जॉब्स में काफ़ी बूम है, यहाँ पे जाना चाहिए. वैसे नहीं करना चाहिए हमें. देखो कि क्या आप अगर नंबर समझते हो, अगर आपको एडवर्टाइजमेंट में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट है, क्रिएटिव, आप थोड़ा सा क्रिएटिव माइंडसेट के साथ आते हो कि भाई मैं एडवर्टाइजिंग में मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ, तो आपको डेफिनेटली आना चाहिए मीडिया में और करना चाहिए, क्योंकि यहाँ पे काफ़ी स्कोप है. इवन अब आप गूगल ट्रेंड पे भी आप जब जाओगे और डिजिटल मार्केटिंग जॉब्स के लिए भी आप देखोगे तो आपको एक ऊपर का सीधा स्पाइक दिखेगा। तो ये साबित करता है कि काफ़ी बूम है। एट द सेम टाइम आपको आपकी फील्ड से काफ़ी प्यार होना चाहिए कि मैं जो काम, ऐसा नहीं कि चलो मैं 9 to 5 जॉब किया मैं गया घर पे, नहीं। क्योंकि जब मैं करता था ना, जब ये फील्ड में मैं नया जब मैं मीडिया में नया आया तो हम जो कैंप उस वक्त क्या वो कॉज फॉर फैन वो सब ज़्यादा चलता था। तो हमेशा वही सोच घूमते रहते कि क्या करूँ कि जिससे मैं और लाइक्स कम आए, मतलब लाइक्स जो कॉस्ट पर लाइक है वो कम आए और मुझे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइक आए। तो कई बार तो खाना खाते खाते भी मैं उठाऊँ और मैं साइड में कुछ चेंजेस किया है, तो वो घूमते रहता था कि क्या क्या करना चाहिए मैं। तो वो एक लव योर जॉब, वो पैशन होना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जांपल एक क्लाइंट था वी वर्क करके, तो उसके लिए वो बेसिकली क्या करते हैं, जो मॉल्स वगैरह में जो ऑन ग्राउंड स्टाफ जो होते हैं जो आपको हेल्प करते हैं कि आपको साइजेस आपके लिए अगर कोई साइज का क्लोथ अवेलेबल नहीं है तो वो आपको हेल्प करते हैं, गाइड करते हैं। तो वो ऑडियंस को एड वगैरह दिखाना था, ठीक है। तो लेकिन वो लोग ना तो naukri.com पे है ना monster.com पे है, ये ब्रीफ मिला था। तो वो लोग क्या करते हैं वो देखो। तो मैं खुद 2-3 दिन में गया अलग मॉल में और उनको पूछा कि आपका मोबाइल पे बिहेवियर क्या क्या होता है, उस हिसाब से आप क्या क्या करते हो, उस हिसाब से मैंने उनके इंटरेस्ट बनाए और ये चीज़ की थी। तो वो पैशन होना चाहिए कि भाई अगर मुझे ऑडियंस भी पता करना है तो मैं खुद ग्राउंड रियलिटी चेक करूँ कि इनका ये पैशन क्या है क्या नहीं है। तो वो होना चाहिए। और डिजिटल मीडिया में तो काफ़ी स्कोप है, डेफिनेटली ट्राई करना चाहिए, लेकिन आपका इंटरेस्ट उसमें होना चाहिए। अगर आपका इंटरेस्ट नहीं है इसमें तो अपने आप को फोर्स मत करो, इंटरेस्ट है तो आप डेफिनेटली आएगी।
But also I think you need to be patient in media.
Yeah.
It can't be ke 2 months and I'm not liking
No.
it. I think you take, that was my deal with Priyam when I joined Schbang. I was like, okay, 6 months, if I'm not liking media, I'm switching to solutions. And she gave me all the time. She's like, yeah, I know you're going to be here. She gave me all the support.
I was very confident that she's not going to go anywhere.
So yeah, I think that patience is there, that curiosity is there, that passion is there. And then, yeah, you just have to be responsible also. And then the opportunities just come. And then with each opportunity in media, it's such a different strategy, game, thinking, numbers, that after one point, those numbers will speak to you. And then I think you can take a call whether you want to be here. But don't be very like, oh, 2 months I didn't get anything, no results, I'm leaving. So yeah, it's a very patient job that you need to come with.
Do you believe that it's your patience which has got you to grow so much in the company? It's been about 3.5 years, but you've gone from like an absolute junior newbie to now, and again joined just before pandemic or in the pandemic, to now again leading a team of 5-10 people, also handling a large revenue size for the company.
So like the 9 to 5 job that comes in, that was a personal choice that I made, that I wanted to kind of work more or like be there more. So I started reaching out to Priyam for a few pitching. That was not a part of the profile per se, if people see your profile. So I assisted her with that. I learned with the senior people in the company. I saw how they spoke to the clients. So then you learn like client skills. There are lots of hard skills and soft skills. So I started picking on those, talked to a lot of vendors to understand those jargons, how media works. Would shadow on some, client calls that are not even my clients, like just be as a, with my teams. So just to understand how other clients are thinking so that I can answer mine. So I think that motivation, dedication was there somewhere, and I knew that Schbang is a launch pad with opportunities, that they give you the responsibility in your own way. Like there'll not be constant nagging or like, hierarchy of aise hi chalta hai company mein. So I feel that added on to my personality to be in media, and then the launch pad that Schbang gave me is why I am here where I am today. So yeah, thank you all.
Yeah.
Good testimonial for recruitment for a media team.
No, but that's
she was thrown. She was thrown under the bus in the first 2-3 months only.
Ocean.
शुरू के 3 साल, लेकिन ये क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पे लर्निंग कभी कंप्लीट होता नहीं है, लेकिन जो अगर नए आ रहा है मीडिया में, तो शुरू के 3 साल उसके सिर्फ लर्निंग में देना है, सीखना है। अपना बेस जो होता है ना उसे मजबूत करना है. अगर आप देखो कितना भी बड़ी हाई राइज बिल्डिंग होगी तो वो उतना डीप खोदेंगे ताकि वो जो होता है वो
add cement.
तो हमारा बेस जो है वो हमें काफी मजबूत बनाना है. तो शुरू के 3 साल अपना बेस मजबूत बनाओ, तब आप अपने आप करोगे. Yeah, that is important.
No, for me, I think most important is you have to love your client. I'm a customer
client.
obsessed. I'm a customer.
Client to customer. Client to the customer.
Client. I'm a client obsessed. My client has to be extremely happy.
What about
I
the
don't
customer?
care. Customer also has to be very happy.
Client can be happy, but customers are not buying the product. So then what happens?
That I don't know, but my client has to be happy. But yeah, that's very important. Literally, I tell everyone who joins, you have to love your client. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You have to make it your own to ensure that you do good work for them. So that's one key thing that is required.
Should we take one last question? I think we finished everything. Is on what he was talking about, how do you understand the consumer? Because that's very important.
Yeah, very important. That's true.
That's how we start, right? Okay. So at the heart of all the planning we do and all the media buying we do, it's being done with the purpose of serving the end consumer, right? And if you don't understand the consumer, your planning can go drastically wrong and haywire, right? The media will not work because no one cares about the communication, or you're reaching them at the wrong place, right? Which is why, of course, consumer obsession is at the core of whatever we do at Schbang. But for you guys as well, right, when you get a brief, what are the steps that you guys take to actually try to understand the consumer psyche, their behavior, so that your planning becomes a lot more stronger and the efficiencies then show through the buying also?
So sorry, you want to
No, go for it.
No, see, we have been lucky in a way that our clients have been quite evolved. When they come to us with a brief, they come with a very set audience profile that they want to reach out to. Now, that might have been because of their internal research, or whether it is through third parties and all of that. So that's one aspect of it. There are few clients who actually say, okay, we have a very broad audience, but I have limited budgets. In that, I have to explain to the client that I think we need to reach out to the most relevant ones. Now, when you go after the relevant ones, we need to do that groundwork to understand who would be that. Fortunately for us, we also have our, we can do consumer research with our research team, or even just, it's very simple. You go down to a store. If it's an FMCG product, you understand what they are buying, what they are not buying, who are the people that are buying, and you get an understanding that yes, okay, this could be my most relevant consumer. Obviously, it's not scientific, but yes, you do get an inkling of an understanding how that's done. A more formal way of doing it is, yes, have a form circulated to understand the consumer psyche of the consumer, and then obviously once you get that, how do you translate that into the platform interests that are available to us is also very important. So I think we have worked with both ways, where we've got the audience very nicely given to us in a good format, and then there have been times where we had to do some ground research to actually reach out to them. So
yeah, so for us, when we plan, I think there's Google Insights. There's this tool that you just put in your industry and it gives you what their behavior is on Google. So that again, because premium partners, and even when we were not, we have a network of people within within media, so you always reach out to them, to give us this report. So that was a very interesting base. So apart from brand managers, using Google, because I think everybody's on Google. So that sort of gave us a nice understanding of demo, geo, like your basic crux of who your audience should be, and then detailed out into interests.
Okay.
I think apart from that, a very interesting thing we did was to go on the website. Aata kaun hai website pe. So in terms of your geos, audio, like all of that comes in, and then there's a section that gives you what interests they fall into. Now, while it is Google property, it of course gives you that in-market affinity audience. It will not give you Facebook's interest audience, but that was very interesting to find out first who's coming to your website, why are they coming, and then tying it back to the media strategy. So these two tools, apart from the brand managers and all the similar webs we spoke about, it sort of strengthens, the strategy. And the last is talking to vendors. And we talk to them, what is competition doing? And it's a good way to sell and upsell, because they know that we have the intent. So they'll of course not give us budget details, but they'll just give us platform details that, okay, they're present or they're not present. So now piggybacking on their strategy, like why are they present there? Can we be present there with small budgets to ensure that our audience is also there? So then those small plugins into your strategy to just make sure it's robust, and then go back with a pitch.
Again, no, I'd like to add here, I think one recent example only, it's a company which is dealing with face washes and soaps. They were very sure about what their P1 markets are. So I said, okay, let me do a little research. If these are your priority markets, let's figure out. And Kolkata was not one of their markets. But when I did some groundwork to understand, search volumes and audiences, and even Google had given us some reports where they said this market is booming, and it should be a part of it. We had a conversation with the client, and that's exactly the same feedback they had also got from their offline team. So it was very interesting that after our conversation, they had to try and include that in their priority markets, because that was something that was left out. So yeah, it's very interesting to do that.
Cool. I think let's conclude this podcast. Thanks for being amazing guests.
Thank
and
you.
sharing all that
Thank
you know. I think it's a great conversation, a lot to learn for anyone who's already in the industry, looking to grow in the industry, for clients, for brands, for potential customers as well. I think lots to learn, and this will be the start of a lot more podcasts in the media space. I think this is more like a fundamentals. We can go a bit more deeper with all the jargons, all the abbreviations that we spoke about, and maybe dissect them a little bit more.
Yeah, do a live. You ask
We
us
can
the
do a
formulas.
live- We can do a live session as well next
Prepared.
time.
We'll have a Bonvita quiz contest.
Cool. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.